The NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is presented by WynnBET. WynnBET is now live in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Louisiana, Massachusetts, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Tennessee, and Virginia. From boosted same-game parlays to live in-game odds, WynnBET has what you need to win. Bet $100 and get $100 at wynnbet.com or download the WynnBET app and start winning today. State restrictions apply. We're also brought to you by the DGen Dance. Our March Madness Bankroll contest is back. Free to enter, and it's $1,000 in cash and prizes up for grabs. Plus, we've got the first half under bingo contest. Enter both contests exclusively on the SGPN app. Welcome, everyone, to the NBA Gambling Podcast, part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. It is Thursday, March 16th, currently 11:13 on the East Coast. Here to dig into the NBA schedule here on Thursday, but joining me to help me break it down on this Thursday episode, you guys know him as the newest voice on the NBA Gambling Podcast. The man's been grinding. It's Delonte Smith. Delonte, what's going on, brother?
What's up, man? Not much. Just ready to get into this card. Hopefully, have a better day than yesterday. It didn't do well yesterday, so looking to bounce back.
Yeah, yesterday pod picks. I think we went 1-3. My lock did hit on the over in the Clippers and the Warriors game.
Oh yeah.
And then I had Jabari Smith double, but it made me nervous not giving it out, but at least when I saw Şengün got ruled in, I knew that it was going to take a little bit of a hit, just because Şengün now in the Rockets offense, he commands the ball a lot more, but it is what it is. Turned out to be a pretty good night in the association last night, as far as games went. I think the game of the night for me was probably that Sixers in the Cavs game, man. That was a fun game to watch last night. Joel Embiid, another impressive performance. 36 points last night. He chipped in with 18 more rebounds. James Harden had 28 points last night, 12 assists, 3 steals in that game. And don't look now, but all of a sudden, as of this morning, Joel Embiid is now the odds-on favorite to win MVP, Delonte.
Yeah, man. I was seeing Joker's numbers like as the win streak was as the losing streak was increasing and the win streak for the Sixers was increasing. The odds kept reflecting that in the market. I feel bad for some people. Like I know some people who, well, I don't know them personally, but I've seen people who like laid like 250, 300 for Joker to win MVP, and that was just outrageous to do with so much time left in the season. It's kind of like up in the air, I guess. It seems like nobody likes Joker, and everybody just is rooting against him. So that might be playing a part in it. I really don't. I think it could go either way. I mean, Embiid's having an incredible year, but I mean, what Joker's doing on the best team in the NBA is like phenomenal, also. And he's in a tougher conference, I think. So, I mean, I guess you can't go wrong with either guy, but we all know that the NBA awards are pretty much narrative driven. So, the big narrative was Embiid last year, before he got hurt, should have won it or was on his way to winning it. And then, the injuries happened. So, yeah, I mean, it's still a lot of time left. 15, I think it was like 14, 15 games or something like that. So, I mean, it's still time. I mean, the Nuggets are reeling right now, but if they get back on track, which they probably will tonight, I think some of that, I guess it'll basically even out over the course of the next few weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I know me and Terrell talked about it yesterday, but Joker yesterday was minus 125 to win.
Yeah, I
the
heard
MVP.
you guys yesterday.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And after, like we mentioned, what Joel Embiid did yesterday, he now is the odds-on favorite to win MVP. But anything else that stuck out to you last night? I think that was the game of the night for me. I didn't understand why AD sat last night when he only played 33 minutes against the Pelicans.
Yeah, that was
Against
horrible.
it
And you
doesn't.
could have been the seventh seed. It could have been moved up to the
Yeah.
seventh. That's a horrible loss. I don't get it. And like, he didn't get like, was he hurt in the last game or was he like
No, it was just a
banged up?
blowout.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't know if I missed something or what. Like, what was his purpose of sitting? I mean, maybe they thought, okay, hey, it's the Rockets, but I mean, you can't do that in the position that you're in right now. You need every win. And then I seen reports saying that LeBron is probably going to miss the rest of the season. So I mean, that's a deflator right there. So I don't get it. Like you're not like self-aware enough to know, hey, these guys need me. We need this win. I need to play regardless of the level of competition. So I didn't get that either. I thought maybe I was missing something.
Yeah, I just think that they're probably thinking that we'll just be in the play-in tournament. Hopefully, LeBron is back at that point for the Lakers. So yeah, for the Lakers, and they can win there. But even at that point in the play-in tournament, I mean, anything can happen,
Right.
especially in the Western Conference. Right now, they went. I think yesterday they were up to the 8th seed. I mean, every day a loss that piles up, you're going to fall in
Mm-hmm.
the standing. So, as of today, the Lakers are sitting at the number 10 spot. Oklahoma City Thunder are at number 9. Dallas is at 8, and then Minnesota rounds it off at number 7. And now Golden State is only one game. Has only a 1 game lead from that 7th spot, that where they can fall into that play-in bracket scenario. And they took a loss last night. We talked about it against the Clippers. They got the Clippers got the victory there. What 120, 134 to 126. Steph Curry last night drops 50 in that game, but it just wasn't enough. But I think the one thing that did stick out to me when I was looking at the box scores for these games last night, Delonte, in this game in particular, the Clippers shot 17 more free throws and made 15 more free throws in that game against the Warriors. I think that was pretty much the difference there. But
Yeah.
Kawhi dropped 30 last night. Paul George chipped in, I think, 24 last night as well. But the 50 piece just wasn't enough for the Warriors last night from Steph Curry, and they take another loss on the road where they're now 7-27 on the road.
Yeah, it's something they got to fix. I mean, I wasn't as just like most, Golden State Warriors truthers. They just didn't want to believe that they were this bad and they could just turn it on. I'm not sure if they can. I don't know if they have the right personnel to do so. I think they're missing Wiggins a lot. What's going on with Wiggins? I don't know. Like what's
I
going
think there's
on with
some
him?
personal stuff going on, whether it's within himself or his family. But I think there's a report that came out yesterday said that he's probably going to be missing us at least the rest of the regular season.
Oh, okay, yeah, I didn't know if it was like personal issues with him and like the organization, or was it like just him, like you said, with his family or not. But yeah, I mean, I think they're missing him a lot, especially defensively, because you got to
Hmm.
think like in that game he could have, been the primary defender on one of those forwards, whether it's Kawhi or PG. So
Yeah.
I think they're missing some of his rebounding. Like he has got a lot better since he's transferred from Minnesota, playing
Hmm.
a bigger role in Golden State. So I think they're missing him a little bit. They're relying a lot more on Draymond defensively, and while Draymond is still at his somewhat peak level defensively, he just can't do it like night in and night out along with orchestrating the offense. I mean, it's a lot on Draymond. I mean, a lot of people want to bag on him, but he does like play an intricate part of that offense. Like he has a ball in his hands more than Steph, like orchestrating stuff.
Yeah.
Like so he gets those guys going, and to do that as well as defend the best player and be the anchor for the defense. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot to do for Draymond. I mean, Steph is amazing. I mean, he just like it's there's no way that you can like get under him to stop him. Uh, Kerr puts him in a great position to be able to move without the ball and run some of those things for him. But man, the way he did last night was incredible. It just seemed like the Clippers had an answer every time Curry would go on his mini runs, which can be deflating for some teams. Like when
Yeah.
he's hitting those shots and it's like nothing you can do. They're playing good defense. He just hot. That can be deflating, but I felt like they answered every time they had to. Still waiting on the Clippers to take that one step. I mean, I guess we got a few more games to see it, but I thought it was a great game. And like you mentioned, I thought both primetime games were incredible.
Yeah, I think that's like teams like the Clippers and the Lakers, and I don't want the Warriors into that conversation, but probably the two LA teams are probably just coasting, or at least the Lakers are, just to see where they end up as a seed in the playoffs, and then just try to see if they can flip the switch on at that point. But I mean, right now in the Western Conference, we've talked about it every single pod that it's just wide open. Like
Yep.
I wouldn't, if Kevin Durant is healthy, I know he's going to be back at some point for the Phoenix Suns. With a healthy Kevin Durant, I would put Phoenix as the number one team to beat in this Western Conference. But after that, I really think it's a crapshoot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. I mean, Kevin Durant has showed like it's been times where he's looked like, damn, did he really get injured, or is he just like, when he comes back, it's no, he doesn't miss a beat.
Yeah,
But the problem is, the longevity of him playing, and it just hasn't been. He hasn't strung together those games on a consistent level
Yeah.
since that original injury that he had in Golden State.
Yep.
But like you said, man, I think Phoenix is the best team. Denver is reeling right now, but I mean, I still like their team and their makeup. I feel like they're one of the deeper teams in the West, and what they can do if they can just get back to they were playing pretty good defense, right? Like at the end of the All-Star break, right up until I think the first week. I think they were
Mhm.
at least flirting with like top 15 in defensive efficiency. So if they can get back to just that level and just be average, I mean, I just don't. Some of the things I was reading, I don't think they like Malone that much. What about you? How you feel about that?
Really?
I seen his presser. I seen his presser, and he was talking about. I mean, obviously, him and Michael Porter Jr. don't get along, but I don't. I'm not sure some of those guys are like into what he's doing. Now that's not anything like I've read. It's just me just reading some of the body language of like in their huddles and seeing them on the sideline and stuff like that. I just don't think they're responding to him as much as they should to be the top seed in the West.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a great head coach. I mean, he's been. I mean, I think last year was really telling to me when they didn't have Jamal Murray and
Yeah, absolutely.
Michael Porter
Yeah.
Jr. and Jokic. It was Jokic, Aaron Gordon, and then plugging guys in, and they still ended up going. I think they went over their. They still went over their win total last year. So, I mean, I think it's a good head coach, but I think that the frustration for him, and I would be frustrated as a head coach too, is that guys are not playing defense right now. They're dead last in defensive
Yep.
efficiency over the last 4 games. They do have a game here tonight against Detroit. We'll get into that in a minute here, but we'll see. Yeah, you're right. I think they need to turn it out defensively. They are dead last, like I mentioned, defensive efficiency at 125.2. So it'll be telling to see how they kind of wrap up this season with, only about 10, 11, 12 games left for a lot of these teams. They still have a 4.5 game lead. I don't think they'll choke that away. But
Let's hope not.
yeah, I think they need to start. I think now is the time for them to start playing good basketball and kind of carry that momentum into the playoffs as the number one seed in the Western Conference. All right, Delonte, before we get into the Thursday night games here, let me tell everyone about our presenting sponsor, and that is going to be WinBet. WinBet is the official online sportsbook of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. WinBet is now active in Massachusetts and a ton of other states. Be on the lookout for the WinBet Win Hour each Thursday, which is today, Thursday. Definitely look out for it from 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And during WinBet Win Hour, marquee games of the week will have better odds on WinBet, giving away a larger payout opportunity. And March Madness is officially here. So many ways to bet on the big dance. Sign up today to receive a special offer, bet 100 and get 100. Limited state availability. And of course, for our DGens, only if you hit the biggest long shot parlay of the week, you get $1,000 free credit. There's so much to choose from. All you have to do is head over to winbet.com or download the WinBet app. Offers subject to change. Terms and conditions at winbet.com. Must be 20 years or older and present in the state where playthrough WinBet is available. If you or somebody you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. And guys, look, if you're watching live right now on YouTube, there's still time to get into the DGen Dance. Our March Madness Bankroll contest is back. It's free to enter. There's $1,000 in cash and prizes up for grabs. Plus, we've got the first half under bingo where you can win an SGPN gift card. Hit both contests on the SGPN app. All right, Delonte, let's get into this 5-game schedule here in the association. Hey, shout out to my guy, Nick, man. He said, F college, give me OKC at the Raptors here tonight. Hey, I'm there with you, man, but I'm going to still be tuning into these college
Yeah,
games here
right. That's
tonight.
right.
Hey, that's going to be a fun game. We'll get into that later. All right. First game on the schedule here tonight. It's going to be the Denver Nuggets, like we just talked about. They're in the Motor City here tonight to take on the Detroit Pistons. This line opened up in favor of the Denver Nuggets at 12. That number's been bet all the way up to minus 14. Starting to see some minus 14 and a halves pop up. Looking at the injury report for both of these teams, let's start here with the Denver Nuggets. They are pretty much healthy, man. Jamal Murray is on the injury report, but he is probable here tonight against the Pistons. And Zeke Naji continues to be out for the Denver Nuggets. For the Detroit Pistons, pretty long injury report. I'm just going to read off the names who are officially out here tonight. Marvin Bagley, Bojan Bogdanovic, Alec Burks, Hamidou Diallo, Isaiah Livers, and Isaiah Stewart are all out, and Jaden Ivey is probable here tonight against the Denver Nuggets. So let's start with the side here. We'll work our way to the total and the player props as usual, but minus 14.5 for this Denver Nuggets team on the road. I'm not sure if I can lay that, man.
Yeah, I'm not sure I can either, but I would have like I would rather lay it than take it, to be honest with you. I mean, Denver, they lost four straight. They have not covered in six straight games. And you mentioned the defensive efficiency, dead last. Well, they're 29th in the last five games. I'm pretty sure it's worse expand that if you expand that metric. So I don't think they have to worry about like the Detroit's offense, running through them. So
Yeah.
the Detroit offense ranked 29th in offensive rating over the last 10 games. And I mean, it's a get right spot for them. Now I don't like recommend people going out to lay it with the Nuggets, but if I had to, I probably play it. I mean, Detroit they're better ATS on the road than they are at home. So the injury report, I mean, you just read it off. It's crazy. I don't know. They can't get a better spot, can they? Like as far as draft position. So
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
can't.
yeah. So I don't know what they're doing. They probably won't bring back. I'm guessing they won't bring back the coaching staff. That's my guess.
Mhm.
But I was reading that Cade he likes the coaching staff. So I'm not sure how much they weigh into the best player having say so. But it might be time for a change there. So I wouldn't lay it, but I would lean that way with the Nuggets, thinking that they get right here.
Yeah, it is a get right spot for them, but there's no way I'm laying 14 and a
Yeah.
half with the Denver Nuggets on the road, especially with the way they're playing defensively. So
Yep.
I think if you do want to back the Denver Nuggets here, maybe look at a team total if you think they're going to score a lot of points here, because again, Detroit being one of the worst teams right down there with Houston and San Antonio, the defensive effort obviously won't be there. But yeah, it is a get right spot for the Denver Nuggets, and again, they are in the midst of a road trip here.
Mhm.
Are the Denver Nuggets? Let me see here. So they have the Pistons here tonight, and then they go to New York to Barclays Center to face the Nets, and then they wrap it up with the Wizards. So I mean, this is a good spot where, I mean, for them, I think they do obviously get the outright victory, but
Yeah. Yeah.
this is a possibility where you can see a backdoor cover by the Detroit Pistons in that final couple minutes there where they, win the game by 10 points to the Denver Nuggets. So I think another way to probably attack it is you want to take a look at some team totals for the Denver Nuggets, where that's first quarter or first half or even full game. But I'm not laying the 14. If you really want to bet this game, I would probably just take the plus points with the Pistons here. But again, officially no bet on this game for me, especially at this big number. So let's work our way to the total here. Delonte, it's currently sitting at 228 and a half. Man, any thoughts there?
Yeah, I think you hit it on the head. I would probably go with the Nuggets team total over rather than the full game. I don't think the Pistons have enough offense to be able to, even though Denver has been struggling defensively, I don't think the Pistons have enough offense with the guys they're putting on the court. Now, at full strength, with Bogdanovich, Ivy, he's questionable, right? Ivy's questionable.
Ivy is actually probable,
Oh, yeah. So,
but
I
he's
mean,
coming back
even,
from being in health and safety protocols.
yeah, so who knows how healthy he's gonna be or how much wind he's gonna have. So like at full strength, maybe I would like the Pistons offense a little bit more against Denver's defense. But
Mhm.
right now, I think I would probably lean under, just thinking that the Pistons don't hit like 110. Well, you said it's 229.
228 and a half.
Yeah, so I- I'd lean under. I would much rather play the Nuggets team total over
Yeah,
than
that's
the
at
full game.
121 and a half for their
Yeah,
team total right now over on win bet. So
yeah, they'll have no problem scoring against the
yeah,
Pistons defense.
yeah, especially with everybody healthy and playing this
Yep.
game, I think it's kind of telling that they have
Yep.
everybody's playing this game, right?
They
Joker,
need him. Yep.
yeah, Michael Porter Jr., Jamal Murray's probable here tonight as well. So,
Hmm.
if you want to look at first half team total, thinking that they just come out and just try to take care of business in the first half, I think those are a couple of ways to attack it. Player props in this game here, Delonte, I really didn't have anything for this game because, again, it could turn into a blowout where
Hmm.
props kind of go to die. But did you have anything that you were looking at?
Yeah, I was kind of
Oh,
looking
actually,
at
I'm sorry. I did have one player prop, but I'll let you go first.
Oh yeah, I was looking at Jamal Murray over his points, 22 and a half. The Pistons notoriously over the last five games have allowed 20 plus points to opposing guards in four of the last five games. So I think Murray's been struggling as of late, shooting the ball. The volume's been there. He's shooting like he's getting like 17 attempts up. He's just not making as many. And I think the Pistons are bottom five in defensive shooting metrics. So I think that he'll have some success here, especially in the mid range off of the Joker pick and roll. Um, I think that Denver is really going to get out to a hot start. So I would rather play, like, if you had to play anything, I would play them first quarter. They're 18 and 14 in the first quarter on the road. Detroit is like second worst in the NBA in the first quarter, 12, 22 and 1. You're getting outscored by 3 points per first quarter. So if you had to play anything, I know we're talking about the props, but I just wanted to throw that in. The first quarter Nuggets. That'd probably be a bit. That's a bit that I'm on actually. Minus 4.5, I think is what I laid. But as far as player props, like Jamal Murray over 22.5 points.
All right. Daniel pointing out Hayes turnovers over at 2.5. Yeah, I think that's an auto bet. Even with Jaden Ivey back, I think that he'll slowly be working his way back into playing condition, I think we can say.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hayes has had at least exactly 5 turnovers in 3 straight games. So that number is at 2.5, like Daniel pointed out there. I do like that. I'm gonna go with Wiseman's rebounds here tonight over 8.5.
Oh yeah.
I think this one is blowout potential proof just because of the amount of injuries that they do have to that front court. Like I mentioned, with no Bagley here tonight, no Isaiah Stewart here tonight. It's pretty much going to be James Wiseman and Jalen Duren here today. So, and I've seen more times than not when there is a blowout that Jalen Duren takes a seat and then the backup center's in there. So at 8.5 for James Wiseman, I do like that. He's gone over this projection, I believe, in 4 of the last 5 games for the Detroit Pistons. He's been in it's 4 straight games in 4 of the last 5. He had 10 against the Wizards, 14 against the Pacers, 9 again against the Pacers again, and then he had 13 against the Charlotte Hornets. And the Denver Nuggets are also giving it up to the center position when I was looking at the numbers for the Denver Nuggets on what they give up to the opposition. So I will back James Wiseman here at over 8.5 rebounds. If you want to play the double-double here tonight, that should be at plus money. Let me see if I can find that.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah, I just played him over points and rebounds, 22.5. Just I didn't. You just put me on to that.
Yeah.
I think he has the most tonight.
Double-double. Yeah, plus 195 here
Oh
tonight.
man, yeah, give me that 195, almost 2 to 1. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure you can find 2 to 1 somewhere.
Yeah, definitely shop around.
Yeah.
Anything else for this game?
Nah, but I'll be on that Wiseman double, and I'm already. I literally just bet points and rebounds, minus 120. My was 22.5. So I like that a lot.
All right, next game on the board, that's going to be the Sacramento Kings. They are headed to Barclays Center here tonight to take on the Brooklyn Nets. This line opened up in favor of the Brooklyn Nets at minus 2.5. That number has pretty much stayed the course. Total opened up at 237.5. That number's been bet up to 238. Looking at the injury report for the Brooklyn Nets, pretty healthy squad. Obviously, no more Ben Simmons. And that is pretty much it for the Nets. Sacramento did play last night in Chicago. I haven't seen any notes if any guys are going to be sitting out for them here tonight. We'll try to dig that up here. But Sacramento, surprisingly, a 2.5-point underdog here. Delonte, I know I've mentioned this on back-to-back situations this season. The Sacramento Kings are 6-5 against the spread, 8-3 towards the over.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really like betting against either team right now. I think both teams are playing really, really well. I think both have covered like 7 of the last 10 or something, like 6 of the last 10, somewhere in that range. Sacramento played a really weird game last night. I don't know if you caught any of that, but they were like up like 6, and then they gave up not back to back, but like the Bulls had like 2 of the last 4 possessions ended in 4-point plays by DeMar DeRozan, and the last one allowed them to get back in the game, which led to De'Aaron Fox, making a game-winning 3. So they've been playing like a tough 4-game stretch. They played the Bulls, Milwaukee, Phoenix, and New York. So I think this is a step down in class for them. And usually when they play down in class, they usually play to that level of their opponent. So I kind of like the Nets here. The Nets are returning home from a 5-game road trip, which usually is a fade. But the way they've been playing offensively as of late, I think that they're hitting their stride. They got some guys to throw at the wings of like Fox and Monk and Murray. They got Dinwiddie, Bridges, and Cam that can combat some of the things that the Kings offense does. So Herter's been playing well. I don't think that the Nets will give up a lot of 3-point attempts here or 3-point makes here. their stats are still kind of, you know, staggered because of what they had in the first part of the season. So it's hard to kind of get a read on how they are right now versus full season. So I do know that they've allowed 120 plus points in 3 of the last 5 games. So Sacramento, with the second best offense in the league, they're going to score. I would think that this plays towards an over, but I like the Nets in the matchup. I mean, I think that they'll be able to handle the backcourt, and they got the wing depth to be able to combat some of the things that the Kings like to do.
Yeah, this smells like the smelly line of the day. I know me and Terrell talked about the Rockets and Lakers yesterday as being that kind of a fishy line, and we saw the Rockets pull out the victory. Very obviously that was without AD in the lineup, but I think for the Sacramento Kings here tonight, I mean, they may. I mean, I was waiting for kind of them to see some regression coming from this team,
Right.
but I haven't seen it yet. And I think last night maybe have been a telling story a little bit, but where they had to kind of come from behind and win that game. But I think yeah, you're right. I think there's enough wing defenders here for the Brooklyn Nets, whether that's with Mikal Bridges, DFS. Um, we could throw Cam Johnson's name in there as well. I think there's an opportunity here for the Brooklyn Nets to get this victory. So I think if it's kind of smelly, I'm going the other way, man. I agree with you about the Brooklyn Nets here tonight. I'll take the Nets here as well. Um, let's get over to the total in this game, man. Anything you like there? That number is currently sitting at a whopping 238 points.
Yeah, it's high, but I think both teams can get out and score. I think they have advantages on each side to opposing defenses. The Kings are going to dominate on the glass. The Nets are poor defensive and offensive rebounding. They're 29th in offensive rebound percentage. So that means Sabonis is going to clean up on the offensive glass. I do like that the shooters of the Nets. I think that they'll be able to get open on the Kings defense. I mean, the Kings defense is 29th in defensive rating in the last 10 games. So they're not, stopping anybody. They're just outscoring people and playing better offense. So I don't think any lead will be safe with either side. So I think we'll go back and forth here. I like the Nets at home, but I think they control somewhat of the tempo and be able to get a few more stops in the end. So I like the over here.
Yeah, like I mentioned, back-to-back situations this season. The Nets are sorry, the Kings are 8-3 towards the number here, but I didn't. I'm gonna wait for the injury reporting because I feel like someone may sit out here for the Sacramento Kings. I think that may be baked into the line here a little bit. I haven't seen anything as far as
Yeah, me either.
if they mentioned anything last night, even after the game, that some of these guys were going to sit. But let me double check here
Let me
real
look at
quick.
I'll look at the minutes and see how much they played last night because um it was a back and forth game. I mean, they fell behind early and then came back, and then
Mhm.
at the end it was kind of like like haymaker after haymaker by each team. So they did exert a lot of energy. I'm gonna see how many minutes these guys played, but I mean they're a young team. They got a decent amount of dip. I think that they're trying to stay at that threshold of they're the 2 seed right now, right?
Yeah, the
Because
other 2 seed right now.
Memphis lost
They're
last night.
tied. I want to say they're tied with Memphis. Let me double check here. I have the standings right here. Yeah, I mean, record wise, Sacramento and Memphis are tied, but I think Sacramento may have the tiebreaker. That's why they're in the 2 spot
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, okay. So they only played 8. They played 8 guys last night. 6 of those guys played 20 plus minutes. Sabonis played 40 minutes. Jesus, he played
Yeah, I think he
40.
might sit tonight.
Barnes played 35. Yeah, but I mean Herter played 20, 27, Monk 23, Murray 29. But I'm pretty sure Murray's not going to sit. He's been playing well. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure he's going to play, and Fox I'm sure is going to play. But yeah, if you had to lean to anybody sitting, I would think Barnes or Sabonis. But then again, I mean, Mike Brown was pretty adamant about like them staying at that spot. Like he was talking about people doubting him and doubting them
Uh-huh.
and
Yeah.
and the team and thinking that they were going to fall off. Which I mean, I'm pretty sure we all did because nobody saw them, reaching this level of success so fast. So I think that they're going to try to give it a go and go full throttle here. But I still wouldn't be surprised if Sabonis or Barnes sat. Those would be my two candidates for people sitting like you mentioned.
I think Fox probably could be a guy that could probably sit here tonight because I know he's dealing with that wrist injury. as well. So yeah, definitely keep an eye on that. I think there may be a scenario where one of these guys just sit here tonight. All right, so player props in this game, if anything you like, Delonte.
Yeah, I was looking at Sabonis, being that the Nets have rebounding problems. I mean, they gave up I think 13 to Claxton last game, but the game before the Bulls. And I didn't see Vucevic. Let me look at Vucevic real quick. Vucevic had 14 last night. Beverly had 11 boards. So
He's been killing it on the boards, man.
he has. So I think that Sabonis is in line for a big game if he plays, but kind of don't want to give that out and then he doesn't play.
Yeah.
So I kind of pivot to I guess I'll pivot to the other side and go with Cam Johnson threes.
Hmm.
I was on his threes on Tuesday's show. He pretty much hit that in the first quarter. I think the defense of the Kings will allow him to get some open looks, and he'll be able to drain them, especially at home. He shoots a lot better in that arena than he has in any other arena since he's been traded. So
Yeah.
I think that he'll get some shots. He'll get the attempts for sure, and I think he'll be able to make some on the poor defense by the Kings.
I see Claxton's double at plus 120 again. I think that's something that I'm going to get on again here tonight. His rebounds are at 9.5. But I think the concern for, I guess, the books turns into, or not concerned, but where they're kind of creating values that he probably won't get over his points prop. But his points props are at 11.5, and his rebounds are at 9.5. They're both juiced at minus 130. So I might as well just take the double at plus 120.
Yeah, I would take the plus money.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go Claxton in the again double. I gave that out on the Tuesday show. I'm gonna go right back to it again. There's not really a big man for the Sacramento Kings, right? I mean, Sabonis is your guy,
Mhm.
but um, you take a look at what they kind of give up to the center position over the last 2 weeks, especially 16 rebounds to that center position. So I think that he should have some success rebounding the basketball here again tonight. If you want to ladder this up to maybe into 11, 12, possibly 13 range, I don't hate that for Claxton here tonight. Again, Claxton has gone over 9.5 rebounds in 3 of the last 5 games. He's had a double in 3 of the last 5 games as well. So I'll give that out for Nick Claxton. Anything else for this game?
Yeah, let me add Kevin Huerter threes.
That dude's been killing it.
Yeah, man, he has 12 of 18 the past 2 games, and he's hit some big ones. Like, it's not just like he had a couple big shots against Chicago and a couple big shots against Milwaukee late in that game. So I think he's been like on a tear. He's been getting a lot more looks now that Keegan Murray has been in the starting lineup more, and the shifting away from having, I guess, what's the guy's name? Davis, having him play a little more small ball for rebounds. So I think he's getting a lot more opportunity off those screenplays. Mike Brown's actually using him like Curry used Klay Thompson. Some parallel there. Obviously, Mike Brown was on the sidelines with him. So I've been noticing some of the things that he's doing with Huerter. But yeah, Huerter's been killing it, man. His threes are at let me get an accurate number for his threes.
Let's see. Huerter is 2.5.
Man, is that juice? This has to be juice.
Minus 120.
Yeah, it don't matter. Yeah, I'll just buy it up at 3. You probably get even money on the buy. So I would ladder that up to 4. The Nets notoriously don't defend the 3 well as of late. So I think you have a big night tonight.
Yeah, also I'll throw this out there before we get over to the next game. The Brooklyn Nets are the worst rebounding team over the last 5 games. They are giving up 51.2 rebounds per contest. So should be a big night rebounding for Sabonis if he does play here tonight. All right, Delonte, anything else for this game?
No, it's all like that.
All right, let's go over to the next game of the night. It's going to be the Oklahoma City Thunder. They are headed up north to the 6 to take on the Toronto Raptors. This line opened up in favor of the Toronto Raptors at -6. That number has moved to -6.5. Total opened up at 231.5. That number has been bet down to 231 to some 230.5s out there as well. Looking at the injury report for both of these teams, for the Oklahoma City Thunder, pretty clean injury report. The usual suspects are out. For the Toronto Raptors, pretty clean injury report as well. So both teams are healthy in this game. Obviously, if you didn't know, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, born in Toronto, headed back up north to play in front of the home crowd. So let's start with the side here. -6.5 here, Delonte, for the Toronto Raptors hosting the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Man, when I was doing my homework on this game, I was looking to bet the Raptors, but I was thinking they would get. I was thinking Oklahoma City would get a little bit more respect, but was it 6.5? You said?
6.5.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a lot of points to a Thunder team who's been playing well. They've won and covered 5 of the last 6. Their defense has been extremely improved, 7th in defensive rating in the last 10 games, and their offensive numbers are kind of skewed over the past, like I guess like week and a half because they were missing Shea in some of those games. But man, I don't think I can. I don't think I can take the Raptors at home laying this number. Now the Raptors did have a great shooting night. They probably won't shoot like that again, like they did against the Raptors. I mean, like they did against the Nuggets. They were hitting everything. Van Vliet was like
Yeah.
literally he couldn't miss. It was like the playoffs all over again when they had that championship run. Um, and I also think that was a better matchup for them. In this matchup, the Thunder have guys. They have young guys. They have depth. Jalen Williams, Giddy, and SGA, of course, are going to try to get in the paint, and that's where they're weak. That's where the Raptors are weak at inside the paint. They don't have a rim protector. Pirtle is solid, but I mean, some of those guys that they're going to be going downhill. Not sure if he'll be like able to stay out of foul trouble because they're going to come at him constantly. Um, and they've played 3 straight unders, allowed under 110 points in that span, under 100 twice and they played San Antonio, New Orleans, and Brooklyn in that span. So not the best offense, but the Raptors don't have an elite offense either. They're still, bottom 10 in offensive rating. So I think it's going to be a great game. I can't lay that big of a number, even though the Raptors have been playing well as of late. Um, it's just like as a dog, I think the Thunder are pretty much feisty and will be able to stay around here. They take care of the ball. The
Yeah.
Raptors are elite at taking away the ball. The Thunder are 4th in turnover percentage offense, and they also take away the ball. So they're 2nd behind Toronto in defensive turnover rate. So I like OKC here. I was leaning to the Raptors at first, but that number just scared me off, man. It scared me off a lot. We all know the numbers for OKC as a dog. I think they come in here and fight. I think they come out maybe with a win.
Last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Over the last 10 games, Thunder in Toronto, they are 8-2 straight up. Obviously, this goes all the way back to 2013, but if you want more recent data, the last 2 games in Toronto with OKC Thunder, they won last season in December 110-109, and then going back to April of 2021, they lost the game by 6, 112-106, but prior to that, they had won 6 straight against this Toronto Raptors team in Toronto. So, and you take a look at their season-long numbers against the spread, Delonte, for the Oklahoma City Thunder. They're 19-11-3 on the road this season, 18-7-3 as road underdogs here. So I love the Oklahoma City Thunder here tonight. I know their narrative of SGA back in Toronto, but this team is playing well, man. I know you've been talking about both of the Jalen Williamses since past couple months.
Man,
At least the
I
last
love
month.
J Dub, man. I love J Dub. The guard. I love, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love him.
And SGA has just quietly, again, if you just go look at his game log, what he's done over the last 5 games, you'd be kind of shocked at the amount of points that he's putting up. Josh Giddey has been playing well. I know Nick mentioned that Giddey has had a triple-double in his last 2 games.
He's rebounding the hell out of the ball. I think he had like 11 in back-to-back games.
Yeah.
Really, really aggressive.
So I'm gonna go with OKC here tonight as well, man. I think this might just be my dog of the day, but
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, I'm gonna take the plus 6.5 here. Again, there's just overwhelming data of how great the Thunder team is on the road and how well they've been playing in Toronto over the past. God, I don't know. This goes all the way back to 2013, where I know obviously the rosters and everything is different, but even if you want more recent data, they've went into Toronto since 2016 and won 6 out of the last 7 games straight up against his Raptors team. So I'll go Thunder here as well. Let's get over to the total here, Delonte. What are your thoughts on that? That number is currently sitting at 231.
Yeah, I lean to the under. Both teams don't shoot it as well as they have been shooting it as of late. We mentioned the turnover defense for each side, so or offense for both sides. I mean, both teams take care of the ball, so it's not going to be a lot of, like easy baskets on transition off steals. And I think the Thunder have been playing well defensively. The Raptors for about 2.5 to 3 quarters if you combine, all 4 quarters. They played solid defense on one of the better offensive teams in the league in Denver. Whether they're struggling or not, that's still really big for that defense. So I think we're going to get low scoring, low 100s, 105, 108 type of game here. So I'll lean to the under.
Yeah, these teams are top 10. Excuse me. Sorry. Since the All-Star break, OKC number 10 defensive rating, and the Raptors are number 12. But if you want to filter that down over the last 5 games, Oklahoma City Thunder, the number 1 defensive rated team in the entire association, and Toronto does fall down a little bit to league average around number 15. So, yeah, I like the under in this game as well. Probably player props in this game. I think the popular one obviously is going to be SGA over points, but
of course.
What else are you looking at in this game, if anything?
I was looking at Pirtle over 23.5 points and rebounds. The lack of size for the interior of the Thunder, that worries me. It also worries me in taking a number because the Raptors are extremely good at offensive rebounding, especially in the half court. The Thunder struggle in the half court setting. So if Pirtle can get on the glass and volleyball a couple of rebounds, he could walk into maybe like a 15 and 12 type of game. And I think he has to be anchoring there. And they're going to get a lot of rebound. He's going to get a lot of rebound opportunities because the Thunder, they get to the rim at the second best rate in the league, and they miss a lot at the rim. So they don't convert. Their rim percentage is dead last, although they get to the rim at the second highest rate. So the opportunities for him to get rebounds is going to be there. So I like him over 23.5 points and rebounds. I would probably look at some Giddy like rebounds and assists, also, and just taking away I'll just take away the points. I think maybe he'll walk into like 12 and 12 here. Of course, they're going to be feeding on to SGA, and if he gets hot, I mean, look out. So give me Pirtle 23.5 points and rebounds, and I'll look at Giddy's points and assists. I look at his rebounds and assists while you give your handicap.
Yeah, I agree with that Jakob Poeltl here. I was looking at his rebounds here tonight because again, opposing teams have had a lot of success, or especially big men, having a lot of success rebounding the basketball against the OKC Thunder. His number is currently sitting at 10.5. I do like that for Jakob Poeltl here tonight. I think the last 3 games he's recorded double-digit rebounds, and then again, when you're going up against a team like the Thunder, they get, like I mentioned, do give up the rebounds to that center position. I think he can get over this number. 2 of the last 3 games, he's had 11 rebounds. Other game, he did have 10 against the Lakers. In his career against the Thunder, I know the last game he didn't get it done when he was with the Spurs. He only had 6 rebounds, but prior to that, he had a game with 14 rebounds and 17 rebounds for Jakob Poeltl against this Thunder team. So, like his rebounding prop there, I'm going to be square. I'll take the SGA over 30.5 as well. I mean, taking the narrative away that he's back in Toronto here tonight, if you just take a look at what he's been doing over this last 5 games, he's averaging 36 points per game in that span. He's had 38, 39, 38, 33, 35, and 35 over the last 5 games.
And he doesn't shoot threes.
And he doesn't shoot threes. And you're right. I think
he doesn't shoot threes.
The crazy part about like the Raptors over the last 3 games, they're giving up 60 points inside the paint. And we know that's where SGA gets all of his points from. So I think he should have a successful game here tonight, going up against the Raptors, back in the place where he was born. So SGA, Jakob Poeltl props here tonight. Take a look at some Josh Giddey props here as well. Anything else for this game?
No, I think it's gonna be a really, really good game. I think it's gonna be a really good game. It's important for both teams that they get good wins, even though it's out of conference. It's still important in the standings. I think they're right around the same in each of their respective conferences, if I'm not mistaken, like right around the 10 seed.
So yeah, Toronto is 33 and 36. I think they're pretty much cemented into that spot. I mean, they could finish either 8th, 9th, or 10th, being that play-in bracket tournament, and then the OKC Thunder are also number 9 in the Western Conference, where like we talked about at the top of the show, where seeds 4 through 10 are only separated by 3.5 games. So
I think
change every day.
Yeah, I think both teams, like if they get the right matchup in the playoffs, they can push a team. Like I'll be betting on both of these teams in the playoffs if they actually get in, like not to win, but to be able to push and cover a lot of these games if they have the right matchup. Because I think the Raptors with Siakam, OG, Fred, they got the experience and they got the coaching, and Nick Nurse is a great coach. if they start clicking at the right time and they get the right matchup, like Philly is a horrible matchup for them, but like a team like the Cavs, I think they can match up really, really, really well with the Cavs. So that's just something to watch, like going forward. They're both teams are starting to play a little bit better. I mean, the Thunder, I thought they were going to be tanking. They gave SGA I guess the week off or whatever due to some injury, and then he gets COVID. So I mean, I'm not sure how competitive the Thunder want to be, but if they're all systems go for them, I think that they can be able to at least contend and cover some numbers in the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree. All right, before we get over to the last two games of the night, let me tell everyone about the newest sponsor over on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. That's going to be Shady Rays. Kick off the new year with new gear built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered from the sun to the slopes with premium polarized shades, customizable snow goggles, and much more. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company that offers a world-class product that's just as good as any expensive pair we've worn. Durable frames and extremely clear optics for outdoor adventures. And that's not all. Shady Rays offers the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair of sunglasses is backed by their lost and broken replacements. If you lose or break your pair even on day one, they told us that they will send you a brand new pair, no questions asked. Wear your Shady Rays with confidence because they have your back long after your purchase. With Shady Rays, you can look good and feel good. And to date, they have donated over 20 million meals to fighting hunger with Feeding America. And if you don't love your new pair of Shady Ray sunglasses, you can exchange them for a new pair or return them for free within the 30-day window return period. There's no risk when you shop with Shady Rays. Their team always has your back. So, exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the new year. Go to shadyrays.com and use promo code SGPN for 50% off of two pairs or more of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 200,000 people. That's shadyrays.com, promo code SGPN for 50% off when you purchase two or more of their polarized sunglasses. All right, Delonte, let's get into the last two games of this schedule. We got the Indiana Pacers taking on the Milwaukee Bucks here tonight. Looking at the opening line for this game, I am currently seeing the Milwaukee Bucks opened up as a 13-point favorite. That number's been bet up to minus 13.5. Total opened up at 235. That number's up to 238 now. Looking at the injury report for both of these teams, for the Indiana Pacers, a lot of questionable tags to their key guys here tonight. Tyrese Halliburton, questionable. Buddy Hield, questionable. TJ McConnell, questionable. Miles Turner, questionable. And then for the Milwaukee Bucks, Grayson Allen is out for this game. And then Brook Lopez, Goran Dragic, and Jay Crowder. Goran Dragic and Brook Lopez are questionable. And then Jay Crowder is probable here tonight for the Milwaukee Bucks. But the big three, Chris Middleton, Giannis, and Jrue Holiday are all playing in this game here tonight. We have a similar line here from the Denver Nuggets, but the Bucks are at home in this game, laying 13.5 here. Delonte, what are you thinking, man?
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if the Bucks beat them by 20. I mean, it's a lot of injury concerns, so it's kind of hard to like lay it right now. Honestly, what I'd like suggest to people is if you like the Bucks, just wait. Because I mean the number's not going to get any higher. If Tyrese and Miles Turner and Buddy Hield are all ruled in, you might get, I guess like 12, maybe 11.5. So
Yeah.
I would probably wait if I was them. If I was if you like the Pacers, I'd like go ahead and bet them now because obviously if those guys get ruled in, you're going to get a worse number. But the Bucks, they've dominated these guys over the past like 2 or 3 years. They've won 9 straight and they've covered 4 of the last 5. In these two meetings this season, they're averaging 136.5 points, 136.5 points in both meetings. So, I mean, I would pay the team total over regardless of who plays for Indiana for the Bucks. Indy's played an easy schedule the last 3 games. They played Detroit twice, and Houston. Even Houston put up 125 on them in one of those games.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't see any path to Indiana with or without those guys stopping the Bucks offense. I mean, I'm in the mode where I'm not betting against the Bucks. Like I don't care who they're playing, I'm not betting against them. Like they're like spot proof. In bad spots, they still win. Bad situations without Giannis, with Giannis, they still win. they're just a freight train right now. So I'm not looking to step in front of the Bucks. If you want to get involved, I probably like you can link up the Bucks and the Bucks Indy and I mean the Bucks Denver and Phoenix and probably get a good parlay going, pad your bankroll for March Madness. But uh, I'll probably play the team total over. I definitely will be playing the team total over. I think it's 125.5, if I'm not mistaken. Is that the number you see?
Yeah, I think that's what I saw when I was looking
Yeah,
at this
I'll
game.
definitely play that. I think they score 130, 135 here easily.
Yeah, I mean, look, for the Bucks and Pacers, you mentioned it, but they've actually won 14 out of the last 15 games.
I didn't even
Indiana.
go back that far. I seen 9. I was like, oh well, yeah. I'm
Yeah, I
not
went
even going
back.
back that
Yeah,
far.
2019, they've won 14 out of the last 15 games, and a lot of these games have been blowouts. I mean, you
Yep.
want to go back all the way to 2019, they won by 9, then they won by 19, 19, 18. The one victory that the Pacers did get, it was back in February of 2020. Since then, the Bucks have just really dominated. Now, the 2 games this season, they won those games by 13 on their home floor, and then they also won in Indiana by 10 points. So,
Were they fully equipped in both of those games?
let's see here. So
I want to
for
say one game Middleton was out and maybe Drew was out the other. I can't remember fully.
so one game, this was the 132-119 victory in Milwaukee. They didn't have Chris Middleton, and they didn't
Okay,
have Giannis in that game either.
and still won by 13.
Yeah, and then the most recent game on January 27th in Indiana, where they put up 141, they didn't have Chris Middleton in that game, but that was a game where Giannis went off for 41 points in that
Okay,
game, and all
I'm close.
five, yeah, all 5 starters were in double figures in that game. So, I mean, I can see a scenario again like the Denver Nuggets, where you can see a backdoor cover here. It just makes me nervous laying a lot of points. But again, just the success that this team has had against the Pacers, I think the team total is probably the best bet here.
Yeah,
Maybe go back to the first quarter for the Milwaukee Bucks.
yeah,
Take a look at
absolutely. Pacers
yeah,
horrible, worst first quarter team in the NBA.
yeah. Look at that team total, or even the first half spread. It's probably gonna be around 4 to 4.5. But again, I would wait until see if some of these guys are actually ruled in for the Indiana Pacers. So again, definitely look out for that. All right, total here, Delonte. I think we already mentioned the team total, but anything else as far as totals?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to dictate. If those guys are ruled in, I'd probably look over, thinking that the Pacers can have a little bit of success, even though the Bucks are still an elite offense. With Halliburton on the floor, I mean, he does so much for those guys, and when he's not playing, you can see they kind of don't know like how to create their own shot, or others don't know how to get these guys involved. Especially Buddy Hield. If you watch the way Buddy Hield plays without Tyrese and with Tyrese, it's like a completely different player. And
Yeah.
that just is more credit to Tyrese and what he does at the point guard position. So right now at like with those guys, if we just say those guys are in, I'd lean to the over, thinking that the Pacers have a little bit of success here, and even if it's a blowout, I think maybe they'll put up some points in junk time. So I'll lean to the over.
All right. Player props. Do you have anything you're looking at?
No, not really. I mean, it's just like you said, it has blowout potential. It's a wide variance game, so it's kind of hard to pick out some props. I guess maybe you could go with. No, I don't know. I don't even want to give out anything.
I was looking at. I didn't see it earlier, and he's not on the injury report either. Drew Holiday assist here, but he's not. Oh, there it is. It's only 6.5. I mean, it is minus 150, but he's been really good against this Indiana Pacers team. Obviously, a team backward that doesn't play much defense. But he's averaging, I know, 7 assists over his last 5 games. But against the Pacers, gone over 6.5 in 7 straight games.
Oh
And in
man.
those 7 games, he's had 4 games where he's been in double-digit assists. So I'm gonna try to find a 7.5 for his assist here tonight, get some plus money on that, because again, he's racked up the assists 14, 14, 9, 14, 8, 11, and 9 over the last 7 games. So
Yeah, I don't hate that. I might join you there. What's Giannis to get a triple double?
Giannis triple double. Let's see if it's listed. I would probably guess around like
I only see double double. I mean, obviously, I'm not playing this double double, but
12 to 1.
yeah, I'll probably just take like some beer money.
Yeah.
and put it on that.
You want plus
Take,
money on Jokic, that plus 115.
that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous, man. Yeah, but
All
that's
right.
about all that I got for that game.
Yeah. All right. Let's get over to the last game of the night. It's going to be the Orlando Magic headed to Arizona to take on the Phoenix Suns here tonight. Looking at the opening line for this game, the Phoenix Suns open up as a 7-point favorite. That number's now up to -8. Total open up at 228.5. That number's been bet down to 228. Looking at the injury report for both of these teams, for the Orlando Magic, pretty clean injury report. Gary Harris is only questionable tag here tonight. And for the Phoenix Suns, Torrey Craig is probable. Landry Shamet continues to be out. And then Josh Okogie is available here tonight for the Phoenix Suns. Let's start with the side here. Delonte -8 right now for the Phoenix Suns, hosting the Orlando Magic.
Yeah, I mean, much like a lot of these big favorites today, I would rather lay it than take it. Orlando's been inconsistent as of late. I mean, I'm pretty sure I was probably one of the 6 people that were watching them play the Spurs the other night, but they couldn't do anything defensively with the Spurs, and the Spurs were missing like 3/4 of their roster. Like they're playing with their G League team, and the Magic couldn't do anything at full strength. The Magic just couldn't do anything with the Spurs. So what the hell are they gonna do with Booker, Ayton, Chris Paul? Like I don't see any path to success for the Magic defense. So I guess I'm leaning towards the Suns team total. But I like the Suns here. They played they failed to cover the last 3 games. They on a 3-game losing streak. They played a tough schedule, 5 high-level games. And I think this is the worst opponent they've seen in about a month. So, I mean, I think it's a smash spot for Phoenix here. I would come out and play the first quarter. Orlando's inconsistency, and they're coming off, of course, not being able to defend the Spurs. So, I don't know what they're going to do with this Suns offense. So, give me the Phoenix Suns minus. Let's see if I can get for the first quarter. I need to get an updated number because it moves since then. I got 1.5 for the first quarter
for the Phoenix Suns, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, it moved. It's -2. So,
okay.
Yeah, I play the Suns -2. I play them full game also. So, like Chris just mentioned, Suns, Bucks, Nuggets. Yeah, if you play that parlay, I can get the number. I can get the exact number while you give your handicap. But I like the Suns here.
Yeah, I think here for me, I know Orlando has been really good on the road, 17-13-1 against the spread as a road underdog, but Phoenix just kind of beats up on like lesser competition. And if you kind of take a look at this season where their opponent's win percentage is 500 or below, they're actually 20-12-1 against the spread, covering at about 62.5%. And then if you want to add in if they're at home, the Phoenix Suns are 10-5-1 against the spread, slightly improves to 66.7%. And we saw that in the last game against the Thunder, right? They won that game by 31 points, and obviously that was without Kevin Durant. But Devin Booker had a big game in that game. They've. I feel like this number is spot on, man. I'll lean with the Suns here. I think this is a good bounce back spot for them. Their previous game they had lost, so let me add that and see if that makes a difference. So, in a scenario where they're playing a team that's below 500. And their previous game was a loss, that improves that ATS number improves to 10-2-1 at 83.3%. And if they're at home, they're undefeated. It's only been in 3 situations, but I think they bounce back here tonight. I think they kind of realize what's going on, and everybody in that Western Conference realizes what's going on, where they need to pile up the wins. So I'll lean with the Suns here with you. You have any thoughts on the total here?
Not really. I'd play the Suns team total over. I don't know. We really don't know what to expect from the Magic offense. They've been really inconsistent. They've been up one game, they've been down another game. The Suns defense has been a lot better. They missed their little smaller sample size that they had. They missed KD and some of the things that those other guys can basically defend, like third and fourth guys instead of defending second and third guys. So, yeah, I would lean to the Suns team total over and just full game over.
Yeah, I really didn't have anything for the total. I would, if anything, I would lean towards the under. I think Phoenix could probably clamp down on defense in the neighborhood of what 118 to like 100, something like that, or 105. I think it falls just below that total. So nothing officially on the total for me. I mean, you take a look at some of the numbers if you want stats. Orlando on the road, they're 14, 18, and 2 towards the over. So, sorry, 18, 14, and 2 to the under. They're 16, 13, and 2 as road underdogs this season. Not much standing out as far as the total, as far as season long stats for the Phoenix Suns. 18 and 16 towards the under at home. And when they are favored at home, it's right at 500 at 13 and 13. So, not really an edge I can find there as far as a total. Any player props in this game here, Delonte?
Man, I'd look at Devin Booker points and assists.
Yeah.
He's been like on a tear. He was especially on a tear when KD was there because he was not used to getting single covered. Probably hasn't got single covered since he was in like middle school. So he's just having a field day. Magic defensively, not they got linked, but they don't play smart or together. It's just more so they put guys on the island, and you don't want to be on the island with Devin Booker. I can tell you that much. So I'd lean to Booker being over his points and maybe some Ayton stuff because Ayton's been playing well. He gets like shit on a lot, but he's been playing well over the past month and a half, 2 months.
Yeah, and he's really, I think that's the one guy that really has to step up for this Phoenix Suns team, especially in the absence of Kevin Durant, right? I'm trying to pull up his numbers right now, what he's done over the last couple games here. DeAndre Ayton, last 5 games, averaging 17.2 points, 11.2 rebounds. He's had a double-double in 2 of the last 3 games. Last 3 games, he had 16, 27, and 22. So I feel like Magic have struggled against opposing big men this season, as far as he's given up rebounds and things. I mean, we talked about earlier in the season, we talked about how much length this team had, but on this over the last 2 weeks, on the season, they're allowing 14.1 rebounds to that center position. So if you want to take a look at Ayton rebounds over 11.5, that's at even money. Maybe his points prop. I think, yeah, probably Devin Booker's world, and we're just living in it, at least in this game here tonight. I think his points prop has to be at 30.5. Yeah, it's at 30.5 at minus 105. So Suns, and then DeAndre Devin Booker points. What were you gonna say?
I was just saying Justin brought up Okogie. He has been getting a lot of minutes and been taking advantage of it. If he's hitting the shots, he's gonna be an integral part of what they do in the playoffs because he reminds me of like a Bruce Brown type of guy who can, facilitate a little bit. He plays hard defensively. He can knock down a few shots. Him and Wainwright are kind of those glue guys off the bench. I guess Okogie would slide back to the bench whenever KD gets back, but I think those 2 guys are going to be intricate parts of what they do moving forward.
Yep, I agree. All right, anything else for this game?
That's all I got.
All right, it's time to get into our lock and dog here for tonight. Delonte, why don't you lead us off, my man, for your lock and dog?
Well, I know we're gonna have the same dog. I think that's the most attractive dog on the board is Oklahoma City. So I'll let you get to that, but I'll be on that dog for Oklahoma City. For the lock, I'm kind of in between. So I'm gonna go with Denver first quarter minus 4.5. I think they respond to the comments by their coach and come out with a little bit more aggression. If you don't like that, I like the Phoenix first quarter also -2. So both of those I would consider, I guess, like a double lock. I would love both of those. And for the dog, I know Oklahoma City, I won't take away the lust, and I'll let you handicap that game. We pretty much broke it down in full earlier in the podcast, but great dog, great underdog. I think they got an interesting matchup, and Shea coming home is a big part of it. So I think they're going to get revved up and ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Start with the dog there, and I'll give the lock. I think that it's a good spot here for Oklahoma City Thunder. We talked about how much success they had in Toronto. I mean, dating back to almost what I say, 2016, 2013. I know obviously the rosters are different, but even, with this, the way that this Oklahoma City Thunder team is playing, especially on the road this season where they're covering the number, they are, like I mentioned, 18-7-3 against the spread as a road underdog, 19-11-3 overall. They're not very good on the road as favorites where they're 1-4, but in a situation where they're underdogs like they are tonight, 18-7-3 against the spread. And again, they're a feisty bunch, man. They're not laying down. They have some great momentum. I think they've won 6 out of their last 7 games.
Yeah.
So I like the way they're playing here tonight, or they are been playing over the past couple of weeks here and carrying that momentum into Toronto. So Oklahoma City Thunder plus 6.5, sprinkle on the money line as well as the dog play of the night. Also, I'll give out a bonus lock. Nick Claxton double. I really do like that at plus 120.
Oh yeah.
Sacramento, really do struggle keeping opposing big men off the glass. Points may be the concern, but I think that there's enough in Claxton where he can have some lobs or, we saw I was also watching the last game against the Oklahoma City Thunder where they're actually fouling him and then sending him to the free throw line because only a 50% free throw shooter. But he got some points that way, got him over that the 10-point mark to get that double. So I'll give out a bonus dog there. For my lock, do I just go, man? I think I'm gonna go with a team total for the Denver Nuggets here tonight,
or the Bucks.
Yeah, or the Bucks. I'm gonna put my faith in the Nuggets here, at least offensively.
Me too.
I'll take their team total over here tonight for the Denver Nuggets. That number is sitting at, if I can get through the college page here, Denver is at 121.5. Out over on WinBet. Again, shop around for the best number. I know some guys were mentioning in the chat it's up to 122.5 at some spots. So right now on WinBet, if you have access to it, it's at 121.5. So I'll take that as my lock here for tonight, Delonte.
Yeah, man. Hopefully we can get some NBA winners. It's a little bit softer market with everybody betting the college basketball. So
yeah. All right, man. That's gonna do it for this episode for the Thursday games for the NBA Gambling Podcast. Again, if you haven't already, hit that like button for us before you guys get out of here. Subscribe to the YouTube channel here for the NBA Gambling Podcast. And, of course, follow us on Twitter at SGPNNBA. Dante, anything else you want to mention before we get out of here, bud?
Next week, I'll have 2 articles out with some futures, Eastern Conference futures and Western Conference futures, I think Tuesday and Thursday.
Right.
So be on the lookout for that. I'll be having some maybe some player awards stuff and some teams to look into as far as there's still some division races that aren't quite settled. So just some things like that, some teams to bet on for playoffs and play-ins, stuff like that. So I'll have some of that stuff ready for next week.
All right. Yeah, definitely check it out. All the content happening over on the website, sportsgamblingpodcast.com. And again, if you haven't already left us a rating or review wherever you listen to the NBA Gambling Podcast, whether it's Apple, Google Play, Spotify, do us a favor, leave us a rating and review. We are getting crushed right now as far as not getting reviews. So if you haven't, please do us a favor, leave us a 5-star review, or even if it's 1 star, just leave us a review. Hopefully,
it's
something nice.
As long as it's funny.
Yeah, as long as it's funny, and we can get into the I guess not the contest, but there's a lot of shit talking that goes on within SGPN if we're not getting reviews. So if you haven't already, please do leave us a rating and review. All right, Scott and Terrell will be back tomorrow for the Friday games. Till then, good luck with your bets. Let's break these books off and let it ride.